And from the 2025 National Football League Combine, we are now very happy to chat with Demitrius Washington into his fourth year as Vice President of Football Operations for the Minnesota Vikings. And with Pete Bercich, I'm Paul Allen. First and foremost, I want to congratulate you on being part of that 50 under 40 group.
Thank you.
That The Athletic.com recently put out. 50 people in the National Football League, coaches, executives, all that, who are under the age of 40 as part of that list, man. Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
That's great. It's always nice to get a little pat on the back, isn't it?
Sometimes.
All right, so now Demitrius, correct me if I'm wrong here. You attended Central Arkansas
Yes.
and Missouri.
Yes.
All right, so Central Arkansas, linebacker David Walker, 6'1", 267 pounds here at the Combine. Well,
Yeah.
what do you think of the linebacker?
Oh, no, everyone's heard about it. That's in our building.
Yeah.
I definitely feel good that we're represented at the Combine this year.
Yeah.
Had a couple guys at the Senior Bowl as well, so that's pretty awesome and good to see us on the map.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah, stay on the map. So, Vice President of Football Operations, what is that for the listeners? What does that mean? What falls under your umbrella, and what is your kind of job day in and day out, so to speak?
Yeah, so it's a lot encompassing. So myself and Ryan Grigson, he's Senior Vice President of Player Personnel, but for me, it's more of I would say it includes analytics, it includes video, it includes football systems. A lot of it's just like integrating different aspects into the organization, creating synergies as well. There's a lot of traditional scouting, of course, that goes into it, but it's more about just an all-encompassing role in terms of making sure that all the parts and things are fitting together to the best of Quasey's vision.
When it comes to meshing analytics or meshing technology with the game of football, I mean, it's with the word analytics. With Major League Baseball, I mean, they kind of it was kind of OG there. I mean, it was kind of the first one to use it, and it's quantifiable even to fans like me. Mm-hmm. When it comes to football being the ultimate team game, I mean, you can get 10 doing everything right, but if the guard messes up, then it messes up the whole play. And it's a once-a-week violent, emotional game. So, like, how does all that mesh, technology with the fact that football is wired this way?
I would say to me that's what attracted me more towards this sport than other sports. Mm-hmm. I think baseball and basketball, they have more of a one-on-one component, and football is more challenging. It's 11 on 11. There's very little one-on-one situations relative to the other sports. So from an analytics standpoint, it is much more challenging. Football is also my first love, but just as I was looking into what career I wanted to get into, football stood out from that aspect. There felt like a lot of stones unturned, a lot of things to like accomplish in this sport that I felt like baseball was a little bit more saturated from that standpoint because of the one-on-one aspect of the game. But to your point, it's a very complex sport.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different moving parts. We call it, Quasey and I, we were in San Francisco, we developed different methods we call it fixed effects, but it's trying to even out the playing field for each player that we're evaluating.
Right.
So it's not just the data, because there's obviously more data now than ever,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the ability to process data has become a lot easier as well. But I guess it's knowing what's relevant and what's not.
Yes.
And then is that kind of what you're talking about, developing tools for that, whether it's a program or however you can analyze that data?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So just traditionally in its purest form, that's what analytics, algorithms, regressions is all about. It's about taking all of these data points and whittling them down to the most important and significant factors to help make a decision. That's honestly what a regression does. So from my standpoint is as I've gotten more into traditional evaluations or just different parts of decision-making, leadership, and things like that, I try to use that framework as I go through the decision-making process to try to just focus on the most important pieces of information and the most significant pieces of information.
Now, Demitrius got his bachelor's from Central Arkansas and a master's in business administration from Missouri, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so with the master's, the business administration part, how have you seen, whether it's with the 49ers, you were with Cleveland too, right?
Somewhat.
Okay.
Yeah. More remote work.
And now with the Vikings, this is correct me if I'm wrong, the best job you've had as you continue to ascend. So the business administration part, how does that help you now?
I think for me it was a lot about the experience of just communication, being able to, whether it's the idea of sales or however we look at the core principles of business. For me, it's more about the communication. I'll say starting off in the league in analytics at the time in 2015, it wasn't as widely accepted, I would say, as it is now. So I think part of one of the things that we did very well in San Francisco is we communicated the information to the end users in ways that was not only like digestible but also like accepted in ways that
and relatable.
Yes, very relatable.
Yeah.
From that standpoint, I would say just the business background going to that university, just learning communication skills that I'm able to apply in this job today is, I think that's the key to the most important thing that I picked up from that.
Are you a Missouri Tigers football fan? Well, and why I go down that road is because last year, I mean, they had a bunch of people at the Combine last year, like a school record 8 or 9 or something. This year, I think they have like 4 all on offense. But, I mean, Missouri Tigers football, it puts out some sneaky good players over the years.
No, they have. I would say just honestly, I am probably what some people in the streets may call a bandwagon fan, but I don't think of it that way. I do root for them, success or failure, but I do like to see it. But I don't like tune into every game or anything like that. But yes, I did like to see that success there. I do like to see the Central Arkansas players here. So.
Yeah, when I went looking for Central Arkansas players last night, or like greatest in the history of the NFL or whatever, this David Walker, 6'1", 267 linebacker, he's at the Combine now. I watched a clip of him. I'm like, damn.
Edge rusher. Plays with tenacity.
Right. Look at my man roll here from Central Arkansas. All right, this
That's awesome.
This is Demitrius Washington into his 4th season as a vice president of football operations for the Minnesota Vikings. When you and Kwesi got together right around a decade ago, and you, what did you know immediately that you liked about him? That I'm a follow in this guy's footsteps. I want to be his right-hand man, at least for now or whatever. What did you like about him? What did you learn from him?
Very smart, of course. That kind of just jumps out immediately. But as a person, very accountable. Very accountable as a person. And I joke with him sometimes. I think he's a bit too accountable. There was a situation where I may have wasted a cup of coffee at my grandmother's house. He was nowhere around, and he took accountability for that situation. But that's the type of person he is.
He lays on the sword for a friend.
Yes, and as a leader, as if you expected people to follow, I think that's one of the most important traits.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
What do you think the future of analytics is, and how what do you see? Not specifically, but I'm saying the amount you've seen it changed. It has changed over the last 15 years, 10 years, like you talked about. How deeply is this going to go, do you think? What's the end game? Where do you see it? Yeah, how much more can it be?
It's I think there's still some stones unturned with the industry. I'll say that I think the level of efficiency is improving. And I think that was, to me, is one of the biggest things about analytics is even if it's as simple as filtering on specific traits that you're looking for. But it's just a collection of data. It's just a collection of information. And for us, I'll say that we even look at it on when we incorporate in certain aspects of the business or of the organization, at times it's just it's things that people have always tracked before, whether it's coaching, whether it's tendencies or anything like that. We just happen to have a supercomputer. So the information's charted for us. We can produce those rates a lot quicker. I think that's been the easiest selling point to begin with. But as far as growth, I think there are still more opportunities to grow with the tracking data that's coming in. There's just a lot more information. So how do we use this information? And to your point earlier, what's the most important pieces of this information that we can use going forward?
And do you distribute that not only because I'm sure there's data points on who you're signing and developing in the draft, but there's also got to be data points on the players themselves, physically, how fast they're running, how high are they jumping, are they wearing down throughout the season? I mean, that's all part of it as well, right?
Yes.
So you can work with the weight coaches and it's pretty amazing, the breadth and width of what you're trying to bring.
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot, and I'll say that that's been a big part of my role, whether it's collaboration within most of it is just collaboration within the office, but that is a huge part of it is that the data touches so many different aspects of the organization. So how do we bring all this information together and help make more informed decisions?
Demetrius, so like when it comes to interviews with players or all right, 3-2. Let me rephrase it like this. There is a lot, but there also are always new things. And what I think is super big and prevalent new is not only the NIL that players get, but like there are so many players who are 24, 25-ish years old when they come into the league. And, you know, like when you see a player went to college A and then college B and finished at college C, do you become inquisitive with that? Like why, you know, why'd you keep jumping?
I do. That's a great point. It has changed the landscape. It's changed the types. It changes the age. It changes the types of players we get coming out. Whether it's judgment or in terms of just trying to figure out why they transferred, why they stayed in school longer, or why they're coming out early now,
Yeah.
given all of the different avenues that they have. I think the newest one was the JUCO transfer situation to
Right.
where, all of that stuff does change the the landscape of what we're doing as well.
Every year.
So, yeah, it's just, for me, I'm just taking in the information, trying to understand what they're about, and I think that's never going to change. It's just trying to understand what they're about when it comes to business decisions or decisions people make personally or for their families or anything like that. Like, at some point, who am I to judge
Right.
on those situations? But, yeah, just trying to digest all this information, but we are getting a different crop of athletes and prospects than we've gotten in the past.
So lastly, you know, when it comes to like trends or analytics or, you know, things like that during a game, because mostly on the road when Pete and I are calling the games, you know, a booth to the left or right of us, you know, we'll see Demitrius Washington, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, Ryan Grigson, and Rob Brzezinski, you know, and you're a few booths down from us at home. So I'll catch reactions every so often when something good or something bad happens. Are you like can you predict plays where I'm kind of like this, like, okay, this is a 79%er from the right hash on 3rd and 6 when you set up in 21 personnel and you're facing nickel. Come on, let's go. And then they like do it and it works. I mean, that must feel so good. Is it like that?
No, not not that easy. Not that
Okay.
easy. But there are ways to pick up on tendencies,
Yeah.
as mentioned before, with the data. But as far as like predicting which plays are about to happen, I haven't stepped into that. We do have a couple of people who deal more with the tendencies than I do now,
Oh.
and they're pretty good at
The
it.
depth of the analytical department,
Yes.
the analytics
Yes.
department. Oh, wow,
Yes,
that's
and
cool.
We have a really strong department with Chris French, Cole Bransford, and Chenzo. Yeah, very strong department.
You're a very bright young man. It's an honor having you on the radio show and getting to know you a little bit off the microphone around the facility and stuff. Great career, man, and it's going the right way. So best of luck to you and enjoy the combine, okay?
Awesome. I appreciate it. Same time
Thank
next year.
you for your time.
All
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.